Hi friends, thanks for joining me today. I'm actually ill-equipped to film, but I'm gonna try. It's our first day back at work after winter break, and I brought some fabric with me to work on my hooded scarf project, and I'm really bored. I'm checking emails and like nothing's happened. I should have taken today off. It's really boring here. So I have this not black, almost brown linen, and I have this really pretty hunter green linen. And I have, since I already did my mock-up, it should be pretty easy to put this together. So I'm going to press my linen. It's already been washed. So I'm gonna press my linen. I'm gonna cut out my pieces that I might record for. So the reason I'm ill-equipped to record today is that I wasn't expecting to be able to get any work done at all on this project. I was going to iron it, which is why I brought it with me, and cut it out on the drafting table, and that's it. But I might actually be able to take the time to actually sew it because nothing else is going on today. So I don't have a tripod. I don't have my mic. I'm sorry if the sound quality is off. I obviously can't hear it right now, but it probably is pretty bad. But we're just gonna do our best with my phone. So let's go. So I wrote down my instructions from my mock-up on this Post-it, so I don't have to keep checking my phone, which I'm using to record. We'll get there. So the first thing, I folded my fabric selvage to selvage. So I'm using the entire width. I'm going to cut out 2 strips 8 inches wide with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. That will give me like a 7-inch wide scarf. And since I'm using both lengths, 2 lengths of the fabric, it should be nice and long. So that was one cut. I'm gonna do another cut, and then we'll move on to the hood. So the hood is based off of a pattern that I have made before, once as written, the Moroccan Burnous by Folkwear. It's a 1/2 circle with 2 squares sewn together as the hood. So I've used the 2 squares as a hood method a lot of places since I did this pattern once. And that's kind of what I'm doing here. I did not refer to my pattern. I don't know what the measurements are. This hood, instead of making a seam in the center, I'm going to cut one piece and then sew a seam down the back. So I'm cutting a 40 by 20 piece of linen here. So I'm gonna cut out the 20 and then reduce whatever it needs for 40 inches. It's probably like a foot or so that I need to take off of this to have that 20 by 40 piece for the hood. And then we're gonna do it all again on the darker fabric. So the first step is sewing the hood. I have both of my hood pieces. I have folded it in half here, so we will sew one short side up to the fold. So this side and this side will be open, and then here's the fold. So there'll be a seam here and the fold here. Then we sew the two pieces together and turn them right side out. Okay, facilities is gonna start cleaning the room next door, and it's probably gonna get noisy, so I wanna get this in before that happens. So the part of the hood that I sewed was the front edge. Then I turned it and pressed it really good, and then I basted the bottom. So this is the part that's gonna connect to the rest of the scarf. And it works kinda like that. The other thing that I did was sew the two long pieces together, both colors. Here's the other one. Here it is. So then the next step is I'm going to sandwich the hood, lining up this middle seam with other side, this middle seam between the two pieces of scarf, and sew that, and that's probably all I'm going to get to do today. I did have the intent of adding a zipper so I could have a hidden pocket here, but of course I did not bring that component with me, so that's gonna have to wait until I get home. But the least I can do is attach the hood and attach the two pieces of scarf together, and then I'll have one piece that, you know, then needs to be finished. So let's do that, and we'll come back, hopefully post zipper. And we're back. It is day 2. I am having a there's nobody in the building but me kind of day, but I came prepared. So here's the project so far. We are making it reversible, so I've got this green on one side and this not black but close to brown on the other. I was hoping it would be more gray than brown, but it's definitely a shade of brown, which I don't wear a lot of, but it's fine. The color on the website was slate. It's not exactly slate. It's some kind of brown, but that's fine. So the hood, I'm not sure how well I described this when I was trying to record yesterday. The hood is 40 inches by 20 inches. So there's a fold here on top. That's going to be the center front. Fold it in half. Sew along the back seam, so this seam goes up to the fold, and then you have two open ends, right? Then you sew the two hoods together. The bottom end, let's see if I can expand this a little to show you. That bottom that you left open is sewed to the scarf. Now my scarf the scarf part is 8 inches wide, for 1/2 inch seam allowance on either side, and the entire width of my fabric, which I want to say was 57 inches, I think. And the two fabrics may not be the same width, so I will cut down whichever one is longer. But with two strips, 8 inches wide, should make a really long scarf, right? Really long. This is just 1/2 of it. So you sew the square hood, fold it in half, it's square, to the middle of the scarf. Hope I'm explaining that in a way that it makes sense. When I did my mock-up, I did not do the two colors, I just did one, but it totally worked. So now what I need to do is decide where I'm gonna put my zipper. So here I have a little zipper, it's 6 inches. This happens to be what I had at home. I would have preferred an 8-inch zipper, but I don't possess one, and that's okay. So you can see I started a little bit here, so this is the top part of the scarf that needs to be sewn together. I ran out of bobbin thread, that's why I stopped sewing. So I will attach the zipper here. We're going to fold the seam allowance over 1/2 inch, and then attach the zipper to both sides. So there will be an opening there. And then I will sew the whole scarf together on every edge. We'll use the zipper opening to turn it inside out. Sorry, to turn it right side out. There we go. And then press that. So then my intention, once I get the zipper in here, is that I will sew straight down on both sides to create a little pocket so things don't wander in the vastness of the scarf. Just to something, let me try to explain. The reason why I want a pocket in this, a few years ago, I bought an infinity scarf that somebody had designed that had a little pocket sewn into it, and super handy. So just a place where you could shove a key or a wallet or something like that when you don't want to carry a big handbag, or when you have clothing that doesn't have pockets on it, like so much of my clothing does if I don't make it myself. So I am adding a pocket to my scarf just to carry those little things. All right. So that's the plan for today. Attach zipper, sew the whole thing together, and then it's virtually done. So after, I do have a plan once it's together that I want to do some decorative embroidery around the edges, all around the edges. So that's going to take some time, but pretty much today we're just going to finish putting it together. So I'm going to sew. And here it is, all done. Okay, so mostly done. So I'm not sure what I'm gonna say. Okay, so this hood is very generous, which I really like. So one could fold this back for a little bit of color there. My pocket is right here, so that still needs to be done. I still need to sew down basically both sides of the zipper to create a pocket. Somebody's in my building today. And then that will keep things in place so it doesn't go all the way down to the ends, which is really fine if it does. If I don't get around to doing that, that's okay. But I want to use thread that matches either side. Like I'll load this on the bobbin side and this on the top side and sew down those sides so that you can't really see the thread when I get to it. That one's fine. And then I also want to do decorative embroidery around the entire edge, and I have some really pretty lavender, like smoky lavender thread that I want to use for that. And I'm going to go around the whole edge, around the hood. I think it's going to be really fun to do, and it's going to take a lot of time. But with this part done, then all of that is handwork, and I can, sit down and work on it while watching TV or playing board games or something like that. But I'm really happy with this. Now, I knew it was going to work because I did a mock-up. I rarely do a mock-up in advance, but I did for this one because I wasn't certain. I just had this idea in my head and I wasn't sure it was going to work. So I mocked it up first so I knew the final one was going to come out. Again, I could have used a bigger zipper. It's only 6 inches, but it's enough for, a little wallet or some keys or something like that. But I'm really happy with this. The hood looks great. It's reversible, so I can wear either side out. It's got a nice long scarf. I'm going to wear it home today. I took off my other scarf. Here it is. It's supposed to snow later. It's not snowing yet. Oh, cool. I'm just looking at the time because it's time for me to have lunch too. So this is a great time to be finished with this project. I'm really excited for it. So let me see. I tied a knot and now I'm holding my mic. So let's see if I can get it off. Oh, there we go. So I've got, nice long scarf that I can wrap around, and I can pull the hood up if I want to. It's a very generous hood. I think I said that already. So part of this, I mentioned that the hood part was inspired by the Moroccan burnous folkwear pattern. Part of the history of the burnous is that the hood it's getting caught on my barrette here, can be laid back and used kind of as a backpack. So it's a very generous hood and it can hold stuff, which is fun. It's always fun when things hold stuff. So I'm happy with this. I'm happy with how this turned out. And yeah, that's it. We're close to functionally done, and the rest of the stuff I'm going to do is just decorative. So thanks so much for joining me. I am grateful for you, and I'll see you next time. Bye.